Hey everyone, we're going to draw a box in perspective. Now I have a straight edge here because I'm going to show you the traditional way that you can use a straight edge to draw a box. But that's not the way we're going to do it, but you can do it this way if you want to. So the first thing I would do is do a line across the page that is the horizon line. And then on each end of the line, right on the edge of the paper, I'm going to put a dot. And I'm going to put a dot over here on the other edge. And these are the vanishing points. These are going to be what we call 2-point perspective boxes. So I'm going to draw 3 boxes. I'm going to draw one above the horizon line. So I'm going to draw the front corner. You remember our previous video where we showed you the orientation of the box. Now I'm going to draw from the top and bottom of that front corner back to the vanishing point on each side. Now, some of you have done this before. See, I'm lining up the ruler. Okay, so I just have those two. I have those two sides drawn back. Now I'm going to turn the straight edge back around, and I'm going to draw it to this other point over here from the top and bottom of the straight edge. Okay, and it doesn't matter how long you make it because the sides can be different sides. You know, maybe it's a rectangular box, okay? So that's the front corner. Now I take a vertical line and I draw, don't worry about, just kind of watch this, okay? This is about the proportions of a shoebox. I draw a vertical line there. Okay. And now I crisscross the bottom to the opposite vanishing points. From there back. Then I go from this corner back to this vanishing point. Now I know I'm going kind of quick, and there's a reason I'm doing that. So there's a box, okay? Now what happens if we draw a box down here below the vanishing point? So we'll go ahead, we'll make the front corner with a vertical line. And now I line up the vanishing point with the top of that line, like that. I line it up with the bottom of that line. And just be patient. If you're getting lost, don't worry about it. You just kind of watch, because I'm going to show you a shortcut here in a moment that I think you'll really like. So I'm going from the bottom of that line to the other vanishing point, from the top of that line to the other vanishing point. Okay. Now I draw the back corners of each side with a vertical line from one line up to the other. See that? Okay. Draw the vertical one line up to the other, just like that. Okay. Looking like a box. Now I'm going to crisscross. I'm going to go from this corner and this corner to opposite vanishing points. So I'll line up the top of this one, go that way, then I'll line up the top of this one with the other vanishing point, and I'll go this way. Okay, and there's 2 boxes. Now real quick, I'll do one that's in front of the horizon line. You remember what happens if it's in front of the horizon line? We can't see the top or the bottom. So that means we still draw a line to each vanishing point from that front corner. However, we're not going to see the top or the bottom. So what does that mean? That means it's going to look like this. So just hang on a minute. I know the suspense is killing me. Well, maybe not exactly, and now we're just going to draw a line that's vertical at the end of each side. And the only thing we can see when it's in front of the horizon line, the only thing we can see is that we can just see those front 2 sides. So again, if it's an opaque box that we can't see through, there we go. Okay, and we would go ahead and erase these extra lines here. Okay, we could do that, and we could neaten it up and everything, any smudges or anything. Okay, so this is what we are drawing, but I'm going to show you a shortcut that doesn't even need the straight edge. Okay, so remember what this looks like, okay? So now we're going to get another piece of paper and we're going to put our line over here where our vanishing point's going to be, about halfway. Maybe a line there, maybe a line here. You can draw a line all the way across if you want, and it doesn't even have to be straight, because a lot of times our landscape isn't straight. But that's going to be pretty much our horizon line. And now I'm going to take a big rubber band. Okay? I'm going to stretch it over my drawing pad. Or if you have a piece of paper, you can put it on top of your agenda. Okay? And I'm going to just take a little piece of tape, just so it doesn't move. 2 little pieces of tape. And I'm going to tape this just right on the edge. I'm going to tape where that rubber band is, just to kind of help hold it in place. I don't know if you can see, I'm taping this other edge over here. Okay? And now, I'm just going to take my pencil, and I'm going to draw the front edge of a box. Now see, I just kind of sketched it. And you know what? Here, I'll do a couple. I'll draw a front edge up here, maybe one here. I'll move this rubber band out of the way and draw one here. Now those are all the front corners of the box. So if you remember, the next step that we had before was to take a ruler and connect those to the vanishing point. But if I have this big rubber band and it goes off the page where my vanishing point is over here, and the other side does, all I have to do is take, like, let's do this one here. So I take my rubber band and I hold it down to that point, and I just sketch a line right there. And then I take it down to the bottom and I sketch a line right there. I hold it on this side, sketch a line right along the rubber band, hold it up to the top, sketch a line along the rubber band, and then I just sketch these back sides. Okay, and look what's happening. Now I take this right here, this corner, and this corner, and I go crisscross. So I go this way, just right along the rubber band. Okay, and then I line it up with this one over here. See how I do that? Now, another thing that you can do if you don't feel comfortable drawing against the rubber band, see how it makes a shadow? If you have a light above you, so you can line the shadow up on those. So let's do the next one. Let's do this one over here, and we'll line the shadow up, and I'll just draw right on the shadow. I draw there. I draw here. Now I kind of go over here and I hold it there. I draw on the shadow there. Draw on the shadow there. And put my sides in. And since that one's on the horizon line, I just erase. Remember, we can't see the top or the bottom on that one. All right, let's do this one up here. Okay, so I hold it up. And I put the shadow right on the bottom of that. Let's make this one a little bit longer. See there? See, I make that line. Now I hold it up to here. And remember on that video before how when I held it up way up, that the lines went up and like they kind of had an upward slant? Well, that's what this does for us. This helps us get that slant. We don't even got to think about it. Then we'll put the edges on the back. Okay, now I take this one over here, hold it up there. Now I can draw on this side too if you want, and I just kind of sketch it along that shadow. Or I can hold it right down to the page and sketch it along the rubber band like this. Okay, and there's my box. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 20 of these boxes. Now see, these are kind of sketchy, but they still are correct. I still see the bottom here. I still see this little slant on the top. Okay, I still see the top on the of the box that's down below. So this little rubber band trick helps us do that correctly. Now the way that we want to shade these in, because these are flat, you got 2 ways that you can shade them in. Let me get some colored pencils here. Okay, I want you to shade all of your boxes. Whatever you decide, I want you to shade them all the same way. So you decide maybe I want this color for the right side of the box. And when you color this in, hopefully I don't wiggle the camera too much. Won't be able to be as neat as I was last time, but you're going to try to be really neat. Okay, take your time. And you're going to shade the right side of all the boxes one color. And that color's up to you. Okay, maybe if I go this way, it'll even it out. Yeah, that worked pretty good. Okay, so if I were shading the rest of these boxes, I'd shade this side that color, this side that color. Okay, then I pick a light color for the top. I pick another color that's very different from red for the left side, and I shade all the left sides of the boxes that color. And then I pick a fairly dark color for the bottom. Now, if you don't have colored pencils, then what you want to do is you want to pick a dark, you want to shade them all in with your pencil, and you want to shade all of the bottom sides very dark, because that would be in the shadow. Okay, we know that. We did that with our 20 can assignments. Okay, very dark. And then the top, you want to shade very light. And you want to shade it evenly. You don't want to blend it because these are flat surfaces. We only blend if it's a curved surface, okay? And then, so on this side, if you were doing pencil, you would probably do it some sort of middle gray, maybe about, okay, maybe about that dark. I mean, you would go ahead and finish. And then this side would be another middle gray, but it would be different. Maybe it's just a touch darker than the top. Okay, so those are not colored in. I would finish those, so don't color them in like that. But I would finish the whole sides like that. All right, so your assignment is 20 of these boxes. And remember, here's the basics. You do the front corner, then you hold the rubber band up, or the ruler if you want to use the ruler, and you kind of go along the rubber band from the top and bottom of the line towards each side, each vanishing point. Then you put the back sides on there, and then you crisscross. So now I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to just sketch from the corner right along that rubber band. Then I'm going to go over here and sketch from the corner until it crosses that other one. And then I just erase any extra. Okay, so easy as that. You're going to do 20 of these, and you're going to shade them all in. Okay? Now, remember, you can always rewind the videos. So good luck, and I hope to see a whole bunch of really cool boxes.